Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the channel. Today, I wanted to share with you why I don't support Black Lives Matter at all and why nobody should. Similar to how I had this walk away moment from the leftist ideologies, I found myself increasingly becoming skeptical of Black Lives Matter's intentions. See, in life, when you're trying to accomplish something, you need a specific goal. If not, then what are you trying to achieve? If there's no goal, then there's no true purpose. When I was a supporter of Black Lives Matter, I never questioned it. And if I'm being honest, I completely got dragged into the organization because the mantra sounded good. I assumed with no research at all that the organization had my best interest at heart. And it was solving issues that I, as a black man in America, faced. I wanted to donate some money one time, wanted to symbolically express my fight towards ending racism for all and creating a more equitable society. But before I donated, I asked myself a question. How does money support the ending of racism? If racism is in people's mind, a character trait, if you will, how do we change a personality trait with money? Are we going to bribe racist people and say, hey, don't be racist? They'll get the money and say, oh, thanks so much for the money. I was going to be racist today, but that $200 you gave me just completely changed my mind. Anyways, as I was going to donate some money, I see that the BLM site uses Act Blue Charities to get money donated to them. On Act Blue Charities websites, they make no secret about it. Their purpose is to use their money to help Democratic political figures into office. Okay, fair enough. That's not unusual. Most black people I know, and statistically, are Democrats. But now I know that this group has a political leaning. It's not a bipartisan issue. And at the top of that donation page, I may note that they want to end state-sanctioned violence, end white supremacy, and liberate black people. Now, my opinion is if you're a group with a goal, it would be more effective to realize what the specifics, and I want to really emphasize the word specifics of that goal is. Presented for all political sides to achieve, or political parties, if you hope to get some legislative action done. That to me seems like the most effective approach. Okay, so I don't donate. I look at the site to see the agenda of the group, and I have to read the About page now because how did this group even come into fruition? I look at the About Me page and it said this group was started by inspiration from Trayvon Martin. And I think, oh yeah, I remember that case. Wait, didn't that black teen get killed by a Hispanic George Zimmerman? Nothing to see here. Wait, what does this have to do with white supremacy? But even as seeing the political side that BLM seemed to gravitate towards and knowing that a Hispanic shot a black individual, inspiring them to end white supremacy, that didn't quite stop my support. The last straw is when I saw the Black Lives Matter founder talking and stating she's a trained Marxist.
The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Now, when I initially heard this, I thought, I've heard that before. That sounds familiar. So I searched it up. I find that Marxism is the theory that drives communism, and socialism is often called the step towards communism. Communism is the same theory that claims to have the working class as the only class, thereby transforming our society into a classless society. Everybody is happy and we're all working for the community and the greater good, peace and love. The problem with these theories is every country that has tried it failed as a nation economically or turned completely tyrannical. Hitler was socialist. In fact, the Nazi Party was called the National Socialist German Workers' Party. What about the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republic, which used to be led by Vladimir Lenin and later by Joseph Stalin, who was one of the harshest totalitarian leaders this world has ever seen. He killed 20 to 60 million people. Cuban, also communist, shortage of food, freedom of speech does not exist, political dissent does not exist, there is no privacy, assembly, or due process of law. Now, the obvious counter-argument after saying that one of the leaders is a trained Marxist is, well, Ty, just because the leader is a trained Marxist doesn't mean the group is. Well, shucks, you got me there, buddy, you got me. But if the leaders are Marxists, how can we stand behind their goals and support goals that is more than likely driven by a Marxist agenda? I'm a capitalist and I believe in free markets. Capitalism is the only economic system I've seen that has lifted the most people out of poverty, not accelerate them to an impoverished condition. You would think that the experiments that other countries have had when dealing with communism, Marxism, we as Americans, land of the free, home of the brave, would use those countries' experiences as knowledge we would never want that here. Some of the communist agendas are to abolish the family. I know because I have the book by Karl Marx and Frederick Engels where they specifically make it a point that they want to abolish family because family is something only the bourgeoisie, the rich people, have. Now you guys may not believe this, but many sources still do show it on the About page for BLM, and I've seen it myself. It reads, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families of villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable." So many people talked about this when it was public that whoever oversees the website took it down. Now, not only does this statement look directly connected to a Marxist agenda, i.e. abolishing the family, but also who describes things as Western prescribed? The person writing this sounds like they may be on the Eastern side and they want to undermine the importance of families. But what's more troublesome to me is that this group portrays itself as being for black people who would want to abolish the very factor, a nuclear family, that can lower the negative statistics that seem to always be blamed on white people or white supremacy. Does this make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me.
We know that more than half of all black children live in single-parent households. Half. A number that's doubled since we were children. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison. They're more likely to have behavioral problems or run away from home or become teen parents because the father wasn't in the home.
But if you don't support this organization, you're a coon, an Uncle Tom. But saying what the truth is no longer matters. I have a question. If Black Lives Matter to BLM, and I mean really mattered, wouldn't the leader of this organization ask, what are the top causes of death for black people? That answer, in case you're wondering, is heart disease. And specifically, though, between the ages of 1 and 44 is homicide, according to the CDC. A white officer shooting an unarmed black man or a woman is nowhere near the pinnacle of leading causes of death in America. I'm not saying this to minimize the lives in that particular scenario either, but the logic is simple. Why are we putting a coordinated effort into something that is not beneficial? I want you to take a second and guess. How many unarmed black people were killed by police officers in 2019? It's 25 according to the Mapping Police Violence website, which is included in the description. And this includes accidental deaths, deaths by taser, and vehicular death. I'm giving you this number because it's the highest number of deaths by the hands of police officers in 2019. According to CDC, again, if you're black, white, or Hispanic, you have a higher chance of being struck by lightning. I'm not joking. If you're watching this video, have you been struck by lightning? If you haven't, it's even less likely you'll be killed by the hands of a police officer. So after hearing all this, I want you to leave you with an important question. Does the Black Lives Matter movement actually care about black lives? If so, wouldn't they know about this data? If they don't, why aren't they interested in finding out? Thanks to you all for watching Gather Round, that channel to challenge you to think differently. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment down below. Tell me if you support Black Lives Matter. Tell me if you don't support Black Lives Matter. Tell me why you do and why you don't. Did this video make you think about the organization differently? Smash that subscribe button on your way out. Peace and love to you all.